Hello and welcome. My name's Suzanne and it's good to have you with me. Today's video is looking at budget planning for the month. I'm going to demonstrate how I budget plan for the month in the hope that you'll get some valuable advice and hints and tips from that. I just wanted to start really by showing you what a mess things are in. As you may know, if you've watched my previous video, I am not long back from a festival and my life's kind of in turmoil. So today is the day that I start sorting that out and we start looking at the budget ahead. The budget for August really was taken up with the festival and everything, and I didn't really talk too much about that other than just reviewing the food there at the festival, which you may have seen. If you've not seen that video, I will try and link that for you in the description below. But I just wanted to show you my messy desk really and start the morning with you with a cuppa. I just think that's a really nice idea. So let's have a look. So this is my absolute mess of a desk this morning. There's stuff everywhere. I've got 2 or 3 notepads here that I've been working from. There's a pack of tablets on there because I've had a poorly knee. My speakers on there. My breakfast, my coffee, my lovely friend's business is advertised on there. Be kind, no excuses. You can see that. We'll talk about that at some point on another video, I think. I have got my charger there, spare microphone on there, my breakfast, that's my granola bar, and what I'm going to talk about in a few minutes, which is the meal plan, which I'm going to look at today with you. So what I do generally is on the weekend before I get paid, which is this weekend, is I look at what's ahead for me when I get paid. What do I need to pay out? You know, I think about things like the rent, the regular payments that go out, but I also think about things like for example, I've got a dental bill to pay in September. My car tax is due. So those things have to be factored into the budget. What I then do is I make a meal plan and think ahead about all the meals that I might need in the week. I'm flexible with that to some extent, but one of the reasons I meal plan is that I work full time and a couple of days a week I need to go into the office, so I need to be really clear about what I'm eating on those days because I don't want to be left in a position where I'm running to the takeout for something. So I plan my breakfast, my lunch and my dinner on those days really carefully because they've got to be things that are quick and easy. So what we're going to do in this video is we are going to have a look at working out the budget. We're going to look at the meal plan and we're going to look at the meal plan in terms of how that feeds into our shopping list. So my total outgoings every month currently are at £1,426, of which £305 is credit card payments. The rest of that are things like, you know, essential bills like the rent, etc., and the council tax. I won't go over those in detail today. We'll do another video on those at some point. But what I want to talk to you about is the things that I've got to pay out that are extra on top of that. So this month I've got a dental appointment and I'll need at least £25 for that. So that's put aside. I need to pay my car tax, which is £30. I'm going to put aside £50 for fuel. That'll get me to work and back a couple of days a week, get me over to see my parents, get me to the grocery store, etc. I do have to put a sum aside for going through a tunnel. So there's a toll I have to pay, £2.16 each time I go through this tunnel. And I have to go through that to get to work and to visit my parents and to go anywhere south. So I'm currently factoring in around £50 a month for that. Then I have £40 for my coffee and outings. So that's for me to go and meet friends, have a cappuccino or something, or to go and have lunch with my mum. I factor on about £10 a week, £40 a month. Some weeks I don't use it, other weeks I might use £20 and go out and have a meal or something. And then I have what I call my sundries budget. My sundries budget is for things like car parking, if I've gone somewhere where there's a fee, or for things like if somebody has a birthday at work and we're expected to contribute to that. Well, we're not expected to, but it's nice to, isn't it? And then I have to factor in my food. So to work out what I need for my food, I'm going to do the meal plan. And when I've done the meal plan, I can cost out exactly what I need for the month for food, and I can put a cost down against the food. So let's have a look at that meal plan and see where that brings us to. So here's my meal plan. I've made a template, and at some point in the future you'll be able to download this if you find it helpful. I just need to work out how to make that happen. Let's have a look and see how I work. What I do is I make sure I allocate some space for breakfasts, for dinners and for tea, and then I have a space for snacks, so things that you wouldn't have around those meal times. And then what I do is I have that divided up into the week. So what I do is think about what I'm going to need to eat on all of those occasions. For me, I tend to eat toast or cereal for my breakfasts when I'm at home. So I don't have them both. Normally I have one or the other. I tend to have toast more than I have cereal. So that goes in on each morning. For lunches, I tend to have either a salad or some cold meat in a sandwich with some crisps. Sometimes I have some soup, especially when I've got some homemade in the freezer. So that goes in for lunches. And then in the evenings, what I've planned for in the next week is I've planned for a chicken curry. I've planned for some chilli and a moussaka. The chilli and the moussaka are in the freezer. The chicken curry needs to be made. And then I've planned to make a cottage pie or some mince. So with all of that planned, and sort of everything written into each of those sections, I can then start to work out how much I'm going to need to spend on food. I can work out what I've got in the freezer, I've already got. I can work out what I'm going to need to buy from the store, and I can work out how much those things are. What I also do with this meal plan is I rotate. So rather than doing a monthly meal plan and having lots of different meals, I tend to stick to very similar meals. So I might just plan to make chicken and mince meals for the week, and I might switch that up for the following week, and you know, maybe not do a curry with the chicken, maybe do a chicken casserole, and maybe do a chili or something like that. It just makes it easier for planning purposes. So just rotating the weeks rather than writing out a whole plan, I think is really helpful. So in terms of the shopping list, what I can do is I can translate what I've put on my meal plan into the shopping list. So the first thing I'll do is check the fridge and the freezer and the store cupboards and see what's there. And I know that the moment that I've got a few ready-made meals in the freezer, some of those are ready meals that I've bought on yellow stickers. Some of them are things that I've cooked, like a chili from when I did some batch cooking earlier in the month. So I can think about when I'm going to use those, and I can plan what I need to buy. With the sections on the shopping list that I've created, my headings are things like meat and vegetables, freezer things, tins, and I also have an other column, so things that wouldn't always fit into those categories. If you do eventually get hold of the template that I've made, you can create your own headings really, because you may not eat meat, you may be vegetarian or vegan, and obviously you would want something different in that heading there. So what happens next is I add everything on the list that I'm going to need, and then what I'll do is I cost everything out. So I've got a pretty good idea of what things cost in the supermarkets. If I'm not quite sure how much something is going to cost, if it's something I'm not used to buying or something that may have gone up in price, I might just pop online, do a Google search and find out what the costs are in the regular supermarkets, do a bit of a comparison and give myself a little bit of a ballpark figure in terms of how much things might cost. I can usually predict by doing this method how much I'm going to need to spend. So what I've done this time is I've added up everything on the list that I've got, and I've figured out that I'm going to need to spend about £46. And actually, I don't think that's too bad, considering that this is for the month. Pretty much the only things I'll need to buy outside of this will be things like the fresh things. So I might need to buy fresh yogurt later in the month. I'll obviously need to buy fresh bread and one or two other things, perhaps some of the vegetables. But my spend won't be big at all. So what I'll probably do is allocate about £20 to my purse for top up groceries. I also allocate an extra few pounds on top of what I've estimated, because what I find is you do get in the store and you find that things might have gone up, or you've forgotten to add something to your list. So whilst I think at this point in time this shop is going to cost me about £46, I'm going to round that up to 50, and I'm going to allocate £50 to myself. There we are. So that's how I plan my shopping, weekly or monthly. I use the same process. I usually plan monthly and shop monthly, but sometimes the shopping I only get weekly. Anyway, I hope you have found that valuable. I hope you've taken something from that, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being with me. Bye.